Let us move to the main event, the raison d'etre for many travelers, myself included, the food. To call Vietnamese cuisine merely good is akin to calling the Grand Canyon a large ditch. It is fresh, complex, perfectly balanced, and astonishingly diverse across its three main geographical zones. Forget the heavy, overly sweet interpretations found abroad. Vietnamese food is about herbaceous brightness, textural contrast, and the sacred balance of hot-cold, sour-sweet, salty umami. Hanoi is the spiritual home of pho ba, beef noodle soup. This is not mere soup, it is architecture in a bowl. The broth must be simmered for hours, clear yet intensely flavorful, seasoned judiciously with star anise, ginger, and charred onion. The noodles must be springy, the beef tender, and the accompanying herbs, Thai basil, cilantro, mint, bean sprouts, must be pristine. I spent an entire morning at a tiny stall near the Old Quarter, watching the pho master work. He moved with the economy of a seasoned chef, tasting the broth every few minutes. I asked him, through a young student translating, what the secret was to his broth. "Secret?" he scoffed, stirring the pot with a huge ladle. "No secret, just respect for the bone and no rushing. You rush the broth, you insult the cow." Beyond pho, the North offers bún cha, grilled fatty pork patties served over vermicelli noodles with a dipping sauce of vinegar, sugar, fish sauce, and pickled papaya. It's smoky, tangy, and utterly addictive. And then there's cha ca lavang, turmeric-infused fish fried tableside with dill and spring onions, served with vermicelli and peanuts. It's chaotic, aromatic, and unforgettable. Central Vietnamese cuisine often incorporates more spice and utilizes shrimp paste, reflecting its proximity to the ocean and its imperial heritage, which demanded more presentation. Bún ba Hue, hailing from Hue, is the undisputed king here. It is pho's fiercer, more complex cousin. The broth is intensely savory, flavored by lemongrass, shrimp paste, mam ruoc, and chili oil, yielding a deep red hue and a profound depth that demands respect. In Hoi An, the specialties are unique treasures. Ca Lao, the signature noodle dish, is said to require water drawn only from a specific ancient well in the town to achieve the correct texture of its thick, chewy noodles. It's served with slices of savory pork, crispy crackling, fresh greens, and just enough sauce to coat, never drown. And banh mi phuong? While the entire country debates the best banh mi, and rightly so, Hoi An's versions packed wall-to-wall with pâté, cold cuts, fresh coriander, pickled carrots, and chili are perhaps the most perfectly composed hand sandwiches on earth. The crunch of the baguette, always fresh, always airy, is the percussion section to the symphony of fillings. Southern food tends towards the sweeter side, utilizing coconut milk and sugar more liberally, and it certainly embraces the vast array of fresh herbs available from the Delta. Banh mi say, sizzling pancake, is a masterpiece of texture. Crispy turmeric batter filled with shrimp, pork, and bean sprouts, folded like a taco, dipped in the signature sweet-sour Nok Chum, fish sauce-based dipping sauce, and eaten by wrapping pieces in lettuce and herbs. is not an easy destination in the way that some resort islands might be, but its challenges are part of its appeal. The climate. Be prepared for humidity. The tropical climate means sweat is a constant companion, especially between March and October in the south and center. The north offers a distinct four-season pattern, with winters that can genuinely feel cold, particularly in the mountains. Pack accordingly. Light, breathable fabrics for the plains, something warmer for Hanoi's brief winter or Sapa's evenings. The traffic. The symphony of the Vietnamese street is the motorbike. Crossing the road in Hanoi of Saigon feels like playing a high-stakes game of chicken with a flowing river. The key advice, universally given, is correct. Don't stop. Don't dart out suddenly. Walk slowly, deliberately, and maintain a constant, predictable pace. The river of traffic will simply flow around you. It requires a mental reset, a willingness to trust the flow, which, remarkably, always seems to deliver you safely to the other side. The pace of service. Outside of high-end hotels, service is rarely fast by Western standards. Why? Because everything is being done by hand, often on a tiny plastic stool on the sidewalk. Rushing the process feels antithetical to the culture of slow-cooked broth and meticulously folded spring rolls. Embrace the wait. It's your cue to observe the street theater unfolding around you. Conclusion. The enduring invitation. Vietnam delivers on every promise and exceeds expectations in the ones you didn't even know you had. It is a country that demands attention. You must look, listen, smell, and taste everything it offers. The history is sobering, the landscapes are epic, but it is the cumulative experience of the people and the food that etches itself into your soul. I left Vietnam feeling fuller, not just from the endless bowls of noodles, but from the sheer density of experience. The resilience of the Vietnamese spirit, married to a deep appreciation for simple, fresh pleasures, creates a travel experience unlike any other in Asia. Final verdict. Go to Vietnam. Walk slowly across the street. Talk to the vendors, even with gestures, and for the love of all that is delicious, order everything on the menu at least once. You will be richly rewarded.
As a seasoned traveler who often approaches new destinations with a healthy dose of skepticism, a necessary defense mechanism against overhyped tourism traps, I found myself utterly disarmed, then utterly captivated by Vietnam. This isn't just a country, it's an intricate tapestry woven from emerald rice paddies, dizzying karst mountains, the relentless hum of motorbikes, and a culinary depth that could sustain philosophical debate for years. After spending nearly 3 months traversing this S-shaped nation, from the mist-shrouded peaks of the far north to the bustling, equatorial energy of the Mekong Delta, I feel qualified to offer not just a review, but a testament to its enduring magic. Vietnam's geography alone deserves an entire volume. It's a country defined by contrasts, stretching over 3,000 kilometers along the eastern edge of the Indochinese peninsula. This linear shape dictates its wildly varied climate and environment, creating distinct regional personalities. My journey began in the north, a region dominated by the geological drama of Ha Long Bay and its terrestrial counterpart, Ninh Binh, often dubbed Ha Long Bay on land. Cruising through Ha Long Bay, watching the monolithic limestone karsts emerge from the emerald waters felt almost spiritual. The early morning fog clinging to the peaks, the silence broken only by the gentle lapping of waves against the junk boat, it's the cliché that somehow manages to surpass every photograph. Further inland, Sapa and the terraced rice fields of the Huanglian San Mountains offer a completely different visual feast. Here, the air is crisp, the scale is humbling, and the vibrant attire of the various ethnic minority groups, the Hmong, the Red Dao, provides brilliant splashes of color against the deep greens and ochres of the landscape. The sheer human effort evident in those meticulously carved terraces speaks volumes about the ingenuity required to tame this terrain. I recall a conversation with an elderly Hmong woman near Ta Van village whose hands were perpetually busy weaving indigo cloth. I asked her, through my guide, about the back-breaking labor involved in planting and harvesting. "We do not tame the mountain, miss," she replied, her voice surprisingly strong despite her age. "We ask the mountain to share its space with us. We follow the water." This sentiment, a deep, pragmatic respect for nature, is a recurring theme throughout Vietnam. central region is narrower, dominated by the Trongsan mountain range to the west and the long coastline to the east. Cities like Hue, the former imperial capital, breathe history. The vast citadel complex, despite the scars of past conflicts, retains an air of solemn grandeur. The Perfume River flows slowly by, a witness to centuries of dynastic rise and fall. Visiting the imperial tombs felt like stepping into a melancholy, beautiful dreamscape, where nature has begun the slow, patient work of reclaiming elaborate stone structures. Further south, Hoi An shines. This UNESCO World Heritage port city is a masterpiece of preserved architecture. Walking the lantern-lit streets at night, reflecting on the Tuban River, is pure romantic immersion. It is here that the influence of Chinese, Japanese, and European traders remains visibly etched in the architecture. The atmosphere is gentle, civilized, and surprisingly tourist-friendly, yet never feels overwhelmingly commercialized. A delicate balance they manage perfectly. The south is dominated by the Mekong Delta, the rice bowl of Vietnam. It is a world utterly defined by water. Boat travel is essential, trading paved roads for muddy canals and massive floating markets. The humidity is thicker, the pace a little slower, and the greenery almost painfully vibrant. The spirit here feels energetic, entrepreneurial, and deeply rooted in agricultural cycles. Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, is the antithesis of Hue, dynamic, modernizing at breakneck speed, a sprawling metropolis where the 21st century slams headlong into lingering echoes of the 20th. It is loud, hot, and endlessly fascinating. To discuss Vietnam without discussing its people is to analyze a song based only on the sheet music. The history of Vietnam is one of continuous, often violent assertion of identity against much larger powers. This history has not created bitterness. Rather, it has forged an extraordinary level of resilience, industry, and, perhaps most surprisingly, an almost boundless capacity for warmth towards foreigners. I witnessed an incredible work ethic everywhere, from the tiny woman setting up her faux stall before sunrise to the relentless construction crews extending the metropolitan sprawl. The drive to build, trade, and provide is palpable. Yet this industry is beautifully balanced by a profound sense of community and hospitality. Language barriers certainly exist, especially outside major tourist hubs, but they are almost always overcome with smiles, gestures, and shared laughter. My favorite interactions were usually those involving food. Ordering street food often involves a complex charades performance, which inevitably ends with the vendor beaming, handing over the dish and nodding in approval, as if you've just passed a difficult yet joyous initiation rite. I spoke with a young entrepreneur named Ling in Da Nang, who had opened a small coffee shop focused on specialty single-origin beans, eschewing the traditional Robusta blends. She explained her perspective on the country's rapid development. "People ask me, 'Ling, why work so hard? You have a good life now,'" she recounted, stirring a perfect coffee suada. I tell them, "We have seen what happens when we stop working. We remember. Hard work is not just for money. It is for keeping the peace we fought so hard to make." This deep historical awareness permeates daily life, underpinning a modern optimism that is truly inspiring.